Hi everyone, I hope you are having a great time. Today I would like to share my experience of using this Schiit Audio Aegir 2 Class A power amplifier that I've been using for a while. It's retail for $900 for one of them. External design remained the same, but more power than previous generation. At 8 ohm it will put out 30 watts and 4 ohm it will be 50 watts of Class A power output in stereo mode and 100 watts at 8 ohm for mono block. I pair with Pioneer TED S1EX and JBL L100 Class A 75th. Ever Solo DMP A8 as a streamer, DAC, USB cable to Sony Music server. I'm using Audioquest E4000 pre-stage pairing these amplifiers. I was using those original Aegirs connected to Audioquest pre-output stage with XLR cable, and time to time I listen to that combination as well. They only send me one of them, so I can only test it as a stereo amp. In this video you will hear back-to-back sound sample Aegir 2 and Aegir using stereo mode, matching the volume. Although Aegir will sound a tiny bit louder, it may not be noticeable, but only noticeable if you pull out original WAV file. So as I will lay it out here, so those are slightly, maybe 1 or 2 dB, tiny bit louder. Probably that's more to do with the new Halo integration into this Aegir 2, because they reduce the noise about 10 dB or so better. Also gain is slightly less as well, so probably that is give and take in those kind of situation in general, designing these kind of circuitries. And my comments are based on stereo mode only. So power increasement is noticeable, especially lower region. The bass control and definition is slightly better in definition, a little bit more grippier notes in lower regions. Mid-range to upper mid-range, the Aegir do have a slightly cleaner presentation with darker and clearer background that it can deliver. Original Aegir, it still have that sweetness of a mid-range and clarity and everything there, with slightly tiny bit of a richer side of sound signature as well as articulated notes that it will deliver. So in percentage wise, I would say 8 to 10% improvement in overall the background noise and definition. Sound signature still remain the same, very intact to original Aegir sound signature, with nice enhancement that they introduced Halo in there. So when I was listening to them back to back, right, I was switching back and forth and changing the cables, and I was using Audioquest King Cobra RCA cable from my Audioquest E4000 pre-stage, fiber audio VS901 speaker wires connected to these speakers, and I started off with this S1EX towers. I never liked the way they sound together with S1EX towers, slightly reserved and too smooth sound, so I always end up going back to this JBL L100 Class A 75th when I'm listening this Aegir mono blocks, the original mono blocks. The Aegir 2, very similar experience, but slightly grippier and slightly louder bass response that I can notice it right away. Performance improvement and sound quality improvement is noticeable, when you pay good amount of attention to it. But if you do blind test, probably you will fail, because very similar sound signature, although internally totally different, as you can see it here. Toroidal transformer is introduced. Original circuit layout design is totally reworked, and now capacitors sit together right around the middle, and those are all changed. But sound signature is very similar. If you do back to back and someone help you switch it, and probably you may notice, particularly in bass lines and lower regions, as well as background darkness and clearer background, those areas are noticeable, and micro details are much improved. Some of the micro detail and tiny nuances are more present and more noticeable, so those are improvements area. And another improvement I can notice right away is how quiet this Aegir 2 is compared to my original Aegir, because the mechanical noise is gone from the transformer, so that is totally quiet. But tiny bit of downside introduced with new Aegir 2, which is startup to ready is much longer compared to original Aegir. And another very noticeable improvement is temperature of these amps. Either temperature of original Aegir is 100 degree Fahrenheit or 38 degrees Celsius. This new Aegir 2 either at 93 degree Fahrenheit or 34 degrees Celsius, which is much improved in cooling of these units, as well as though mechanical noise and everything is very much improved. In performance is greatly improved, as well as $100 more than original one. As usual, everything gone up, right? And good power increasements. Originally, I was using it on my streaming setup, watching TVs and listening to music, pairing with Schiit Audio Freya Plus with original JJ tubes, and I thought the sound is still the same, because Freya Plus is, especially with JJ tube, is not much revealing combination. I was like, oh, this is still same sound quality, right? That's what I thought. And when I switch it over here with this Audioquest pre-stage, and when I listen to it back to back, boom, right there, that is noticeable right away. Clarity in the background, quieter, darker background, right? Those are most noticeable thing aside from bass quality. So next thing is when I try as a monoblock using original Aegir on right side, this Aegir 2 on left side, playing with my balance left and right control, less noticeable compared to stereo mode. So that's the only thing that I can mention, because I only try as a mono on one side only. So if you have original Aegir, this may not be great upgrade for you. You can do something else, probably add a better pre-stage to get best performance out of it. But if you are looking for musical sounding and forgiving sound, this Aegir 2 is very good option. The clarity and noise control and enhancement that totally noticeable, although it may not be night and day different in sound quality. There is an improvement that I can notice right away. Assembled in United States, price is right, performance is very good, sound quality that it can show for. I can easily recommend it to you to try it, my friend. Thank you for watching and happy listening.
Did you say I've got a lot to learn? Well, don't think I'm trying not to learn. Since this is the perfect spot to learn, so teach me tonight. Starting with the ABC of it, Did you say I've